Welcome, Totem Nation. Lambos World Sports on a Tuesday. We are 48 hours away from football. Um, both teams struggled last week. The Eagles should have lost to the Patriots, but it's whatever. It's a new week. It's football. I mean, we're not going to bash a team over 1 week. We got 18 weeks left for football. But those Minnesota Vikings can be very, very disappointing at times. And Justin Jefferson had 150 yards receiving last game, and they still lost. Now, this game will be played on Thursday night, 8:15. It'll be on Prime Video. If you have Amazon Prime, Fox. NFL players aren't big fans of Thursday night games, but I think this one early in the season should be a very, very good matchup. Both of these teams did play last year. I think when the Eagles were somewhat still undefeated and the Vikings lost like one game last year towards the mid-season, this is a very good matchup. Who do you got winning the Thursday night football game between the Vikings and the Eagles?
Right. So, excuse me. I have the Eagles winning this one by 3. So I have them not covering the spread of -7. 31-28 is my guess. The Eagles, they allowed 306 yards of passing against the Patriots, who, all credit to the Patriots last week. They played a really good game, but it's not like a hot take or anything to say that the Vikings have a better passing attack, just off the fact that they have JJ. Jordan Addison looked good, and KJ Osborne has shown flashes time and time again of being a solid number 2, number 3 receiver in the league. The Vikings had a good game defensively, but it was against Baker Mayfield. Now, all credit to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and that offense down there. They held Rachaad White to like 2 yards a carry or something, so that was great. But the Eagles didn't really focus, or they don't really have that guy in the backfield like they did last year in Miles Sanders. DeAndre Swift barely got any playing time. Kenneth Gainwell looked okay. But I think the main emphasis for them is going to be in the air. So I don't think that they have I don't think their defense can keep up with the Eagles offense. Now, the Eagles offense didn't look great last week, but me and you both know that the Patriots defense is top notch. So that's why I've got Eagles 31-28. I would be pretty surprised, I think, if the Vikings pulled this out. But being an NFC East hater of the Eagles, I would love to see them lose. But being realistic here, I do think it's going to be the Eagles at the end of the day.
I'm going to pull the upset. Now, I'm not going to put this on my parlay, but I think the Vikings are going to win this game. The Vikings are not going to lose 2 straight games, and Justin Jefferson is hard to lock down. Justin Jefferson is going to have over 100-plus yards receiving. It's a road game. The Vikings need to make a statement. I understand that Kirk Cousins is not clutch in primetime games, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, even Tuesday night games if they were played in the NFL. I understand that Kirk Cousins is not so much clutch. But I think the Philadelphia Eagles have questionable injuries. Fletcher Cox did get hurt towards the end of the Patriots game. The Kobe Dean was placed on IR against the Patriots game as well. So a lot of key defenders are out, questionable. My only concern for the Vikings is Christian Darshaw. He's on the injury list as questionable. So their offensive tackle, the linebacker Davenport, and the center Bradbury. That's my only concern as far as offensive linemen getting hurt. Because we see Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, but the quarterback situation is a little bit different than the offensive lineman. That's my only concern. But I think the Vikings, they will take advantage of opportunities like they didn't do against the Buccaneers. The Eagles won't struggle, but the Eagles secondary showed you last week that they couldn't stop the so-called. If you're not a real football fan, you say Patriots don't have wide receivers. It's not talented like the Dallas Cowboys. It's not talented like the 49ers. But if you give up 300+ yards passing to a Patriots team that was last in the red zone last year, there's some really concerns. It's also concerning when you lose your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. That's gonna hurt them but they're getting exposed a little bit early. Jalen Hurts only had 177 yards passing. Some of the play calling was out kind of weird, especially going for it on 4th and 2 instead of punting and pinning them deep. But I think for this game, the Vikings were somewhat surprised, come out on top. I think they'll start off hot. I think Kirk Cousins will use the ability of the play action. My only problem is they need to run the ball more. Madison only had 11 carries for 34 yards, and that's not good enough to be the Eagles team that can stop the run. By the way, for the Eagles, they didn't really run the ball well against the Patriots either. Jalen Hurts had some runs here and there until he fumbled. But my primary focus is Justin Jefferson needs to get the ball more in order to win. They need to use their tight end more as well. By the way, if the Eagles are going to win, you need to get A.J. Brown going. You can't wait till the 4th quarter to get him going. I understand the Patriots shut him out for 3 quarters, but he had 7 receptions for 79 yards. I think most of that was in the second half. So I'm going to pick the Vikings to win this one. I think it's going to be very sloppy because it's a short week. You just played Sunday. You're turning around. You're playing Thursday. You don't have a lot of practice time. You may have about 2 or 3 days, maybe 3, because tomorrow is basically their travel day, so they have to travel to Philly and then film study, and then Thursday is the game. So I think it's going to be real sloppy. It's going to be some turnovers. Minnesota Vikings will win 24-23. Something is going to happen based off a turnover, or it's going to come down to a 4th down call. Vikings will win, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck the Eagles.
No,
But
I'm with you there.
Total Pro Nation, that is it for you're not wrong, but that's it, Total Pro Nation. That is it for the Thursday night football recap. We got more episodes to continue to go. We'll be talking about this week some college football and all these other things, and probably recapping the whole Aaron Rodgers injury of who's going to replace him. Is it Colin Kaepernick? Is it Josh McCown? I'm not even going to say Cam Newton. I don't know why ESPN put Cam Newton. He's about long gone and retired, but we'll figure that out sooner than later. But on to the next episode, the next 5 minutes, Totem Pole Nation, Lambos World Sports. We'll catch you in the next 5 minutes.